Okay, so let's talk about this. So I was asked a question last night on TikTok, and I felt like this would be a cool conversation to talk about. I mean, we've talked about some of this already anyway, but last night, what was said was SmackDown and Raw have become just complete garbage. Now, the people in the comment section, which I'm not into this arguing, debating stuff. Everybody has their opinion on things. All right, whatever. But I'm also not the type of person that, like, if I see this is a channel where everybody likes the WWE, they're all talking about it. I'm not going to jump in there to start some shit. Oh, the WWE sucks. You people are crazy. I don't have a nickel in that dime. Understand? That's their conversation. But I'm noticing in the conversation, right? The argument. This isn't AEW fans arguing with WWE fans, MLW fans arguing with WWE fans, TNA fans arguing with WWE fans. No, you know what this is? This is WWE fans arguing with WWE fans. And they're talking about the different eras of time. Oh, this era is way better than the Attitude Era. This era is... Why? Because Drew McIntyre said so? The people from the John Cena era, I'm pretty sure a lot of John Cena fans say, this is bullshit. Look at what they're doing to John Cena. Oh, this wrestling is, right? And prior, so let me say this. People were coming in there talking about the Attitude Era, and I wasn't crazy about the Attitude Era either. There was certain things that had my interest in the Attitude Era, but not a whole lot. So when people bring it up, they say it as if they expect your reaction to be, oh yeah, that was the... Nah. At that point, especially, I was loving what the NWO was doing. So, I always liked WCW, NWA, AWA. For the most part, NWA. So the era of Sting and Eddie Gilbert and all those guys, man, Doom and Luger and all of them, the skyscrapers. And that's when wrestling was fun. When the Ultimate Warrior, like my favorite WWE pay-per-view at that time, WWF, was the Survivor Series. And they screwed that all up through time. Through time, it just got to the point. It defeated the purpose to call it the Survivor Series. Then they started having a bunch of one-on-one matches with two Survivor Series matches or some stuff like that. It was trash. It just went nowhere. And so, what made wrestling fun to me was because they felt like real live comic book heroes. They looked like real life. Look at Kamala. Look at Sting. Look at the Ultimate Warrior. Like they look like real life comic book heroes. And so the stories were more compelling. We didn't have, internet to sit up here and have all these social media stories and leaks and spoilers. We didn't. So it was more engaging. Before WCW started the whole, doing the replays, you either watched it then or you missed it. So you wanted to make sure that you locked in when the show was happening live. Now, WCW being that, okay, well, cool, if I miss it, then I could watch the replay. Then, all right, cool, great. It's a help, but it's also a hurt as well. Because now the urgency is not there to see it when it first happens live. But here's what happened, right? Once wrestling changed, and change is inevitable. It's going to happen. Some people are going to like the change. A lot of people aren't. The newer generation, the younger generations are going to be the ones more receptive of it than the older generation, if it's not done right. Once wrestling started this whole reality show style of segments, and that's when wrestling started to change to where it just didn't feel authentic anymore. It didn't feel like a wrestling show. You understand what I mean? It just felt like it starts to feel like more like a soap opera. I don't like that soap opera stuff. Now, the other night, who was it? It was I can't remember who it was. Julia, somebody else. I think Stephanie Vecchia and I forgot who the hell else came out. But my partner said, "Hey, check this segment out because this is what we're talking about." And he said, "This exemplifies just what you're talking about." The segment where whoever it was that came out with Julia. They're talking to Stephanie Vecchia, and like I said, I forgot who the hell came out with her. It was just the segment. It wasn't, the way she was talking. I said, "This is exactly my point." So it was so. This is what. Now he has to understand it too. Like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He's like, yeah, the way they were doing this whole thing. So Julia, now I know you're a great champion, but the thing is, I'm much better. And we're going to find out at the pay per view. And now I know you think that you're the best. I mean, it just sounds like a fucking social worker talking to a fucking patient, man. Like like to a client. Like this is wrestling now. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. Everything just changed, and it started to get to the point where I felt like TNA had it right for a while, and then it just started to get real cartoony, like example with the Hardy Compound situation, right? You throw somebody into their fucking pool, all of a sudden when you pull them up, Shark Boy comes out, stuff like that, where it's like, okay, you can find it funny, you might find it entertaining, but then it was like after that first one, then they had the second one. I forgot. I know the Steiners were in there. They were fighting on the back of that truck. But then it's like from that point after that, it just got to the point more comical, just more gimmicky, more. But the characters didn't deliver in the ring to where, like, just take for example, if you look at Animal and Hawk, one of the first things popped to people's mind is, damn, I feel sorry for the opponents. Which means whoever's fighting them, unless they're as big and strong as them, they have to be strategic, right? They have to. So it has to be more cerebral, more of a thinking type of thing where I can't outpower this guy. Okay, see, that's what that element started to go away from wrestling, and it gets to the point where a guy whose body looks like melted ice cream is in the ring going, and a guy that's big and jacked is all over the ring getting beat by this little frail guy. So everything started changing. And that reality style developed into everybody wants to come out and be a MJF. They want to be a Chris Jericho. They want to be a Rock. They want to be in store. Everything is all about, yo, he's got some chops on him. I am not tuning in for 2 hours to listen to some fucking body talk and crack jokes, and so that's not what does it for me. He has chops on him. Nobody even said that fucking term anymore. But yeah, he has some chops on him. Yeah, the guy's got chops. The fuck do I care about listening to? See, this is why I say when I look at AEW, it's like, yeah, they get it. Their storylines are not designed where little 5-year-olds are going, yeah. It's like, yeah, this is going to be good. That's what gets my attention. Everything changed to this whole, everybody just wants to talk. Everybody is just some manic, depressive, angry, pissed off, trembling face. But it's like, but what? Like the character, there's no character there. It's like everybody just feels the same. So it became more of a reality-based thing. It went from Jerry Springer to, the real world on MTV. It just gets to the point where it's like every time you turn around, it's like everybody has the same story. AEW doesn't feel like that. But the characters and the way wrestling was done back then, I like things before the Attitude Era, to be honest with you. And like I said, the NWO stuff was great and all that. But WCW was always the company that I was watching, NWA and whatever. But when that all went away, and it was just the WWE, Then TNA came along, but small company that was starting out, and so I was watching it. I was the one paying my 99 cents every Wednesday to watch their pay-per-view show, because that's what they had, a weekly pay-per-view. They didn't have a weekly show that was just running like Raw, SmackDown. So they on free on cable, if you had cable. But it was basically, so I'm tuning in watching. I'm like, man, this shit is actually good. So I'm watching. I'm getting invested into it. And I'm not the type of person everything has to be social with me. Oh, you heard about TNA? Nah, but I'm watching it. So people come around, what is this, man? And stuff like that. And then other people start watching it as well. But TNA still had, they had a mix of characters as well. So people like Abyss and Monty Brown, like different people had they had a dark side to them. But it wasn't exactly the same. So we knew wrestling has changed. We knew that already. It changed with the NWO. We knew that already. But even in WCW, when they had the Dungeon of Doom and like different, Ming and all these guys, this is what I'm saying. These wrestlers had a presence. They looked like kick-ass type of people. These wrestlers that they have right now, a lot of them, it's just hard to believe that they can beat any fucking body. So when I'm looking at these storylines and I'm listening to what's being said, I say people don't understand something. There's a lot of things that I can pick any era of time that I've been here that I can remember where I didn't like a lot of shit, but there's stuff that I did like. So there's no one period of time that I'm saying everything was better at that point. No. But in terms of professional wrestling, once these professional wrestlers lost that, once wrestling lost the ability to build characters that stand out, not just build characters that stand out, okay, and made you want to watch. Wrestling as a whole just got to the point where it became more soap opera-ish, more like like Days of Our Lives or some shit. That's what it felt like. TNA turned, they changed, they started this, shit with the whole, and Eric Bischoff was a part of that, and he had his own little TV crew and all at one point. Having, they were doing this whole TV reality series type stuff. He had a lot to do with that as well in TNA. But it all just changed. So AEW comes in, it just felt fresh and different. It reminded me somewhat of WCW when they was really hot, but different. So we know it's always going to be a change in something. Now, let's get back, go full circle with it. AEW made their stance, made their mark, and this is who we are. We're not the other company. Stop trying to change us into that. That's not what we want. This is our direction, not that. Okay. When Raw goes from a 5.9 rating, okay, mind you, the highest they've ever had was an 8.0. And like I said, it was the APA. I don't remember if they went against Road Dogg and them, it was against DX or somebody went, but they were 8.0. Which means even though there's far more eyes watching on Netflix, the highest that they drew was a 5.9, which is still far away from 8.0. They're down now to a 2.3. SmackDown is down to a 1.3, and the week before they drew a 1.1. Okay? The WWE has abandoned wrestling to be more of a entertainment company. When Triple H tells you, plain and simple, this is the final form of sports and entertainment, who is he trying to fool and convince? That's what the WWE direction is. It sucks. I stopped watching it for more reasons than just them being a sucky company. But for the people right now, I've seen so many people. Shit, what's that guy? RGT85, a whole bunch of other channels. As of this morning, Saturday morning, right now, is 10:33. Okay. So many people are like, I'm done with WWE. I can't. It's nothing going on. It's not interesting. Now, this is what I told you guys from day one. It's not so much about AEW taking WWE fans. This is where these idiotic so-called wrestling historians think that no. If that would be the case, when WCW closed, okay, that means WWE's ratings should have shot through the roof. They should have, because they, right? No. What happens is a lot of them will just stop watching wrestling. That's cool. Nobody's putting a gun to your head saying you have to go watch AEW. No. What I'm saying, all of your AEW hate isn't doing any justice for the WWE. Now, for people that want to watch wrestling, they'll either gradually jump on the bandwagon and watch, or they'll just hate AEW more because their beloved WWE is no longer around, if that would be the case. AEW's focus isn't, I want to steal their fans, no, their focus is to just give you the best product, keep progressing, keep producing great material, not even thinking about what the WWE is doing. See, that's the mind of the people behind these microphones and these video cameras talking their trash to you about what AEW can do to take their fans and what AEW. That's all that is. One has nothing to do with the other. But here's the deal. Let's look at the amount of people that are displeased with WWE's current product. How long they've been displeased with WWE's current product. And a company that has a guy in charge telling you, I want to tell the WWE fans to fuck off. You guys like being disrespected and violated, huh? Right? Several wrestlers telling you guys you have no life, telling you that you guys are ignorant, you need to shut up and just be fans. Okay. Several talents leaving, whether it's NXT, Raw, SmackDown. When these wrestlers leave, and you guys come with this BS about, he's better than WWE, or she's better, they need to go, all this shit, they need to go back. You're not looking at this person's life. You don't understand this person's life. All you care about is what you care about. So, in a lot of ways, a lot of you WWE complainers are a lot like the people within the WWE. You're basically all about what you want. What gives you the right to tell Mercedes Moné, she should have stayed in WWE, just even though you weren't happy and they weren't treating you right, okay? And they pretty much would have put the nail in your coffin of your career. Pretty much, you have no right to go to AEW and be happy and make more money and be far more successful. So every time you open your mouth to say, she's not the great, who cares what the fuck you think? Who cares? You talking about a Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch, right? If they jump ship, then you'd be saying the same. She's not the greatest. Well, when she was in no, shut up, just shut up. This is what you guys do. You make everything about yourselves. So when these ratings are dropping, do you really have to ask yourself why, or you don't have common sense? The product is not delivering. The ego of the people within the WWE, they think whatever they touch is diamond. If you're under those three letters, the banner of those three letters, you're automatically a star. No, not the case. Now, who right now is a superstar in the WWE? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who's a superstar? None of them. John Cena's star power isn't what it was. The Rock's star power isn't what it was. Triple H, Stone the so on. Okay? And none of these people are regulars. Now, let's take John Cena out the picture. Let's take The Rock out. Let's take all of them and let's look at who is current right now. You can call Seth Rollins a superstar. You can call Roman Reigns a superstar. You can call them what you want, but the ratings show different. Now, when you want to say the biggest stars in the company, that is more appropriate. And you can say that for any company, the biggest stars in the company. So yeah, they are stars to a degree, but who are what superstar can't draw and can't surpass their lowest numbers? What superstar can't get the numbers to rise back up? So no, let's stop overusing these terms. So they don't have the ability, they don't know how to build superstars anymore. This is one of the reasons why this Hollywood craze is like, and just, they're infested with this shit because they're expecting and hoping. Hey man, it's like, what's her name, Liv Morgan, right? It's supposed to be being in a movie or something. Yeah, so they want this crossover of, yeah, we produce wrestlers and movie stars, right? Remember how they made like 4 different versions of the movie The Marine, right? They had all these different wrestlers Ted DiBiase's son was in one, The Miz was in one, John Cena I think was in the first one, right? Randy Orton or somebody was in one of them, right? Who cares about those movies? Who? Now you take all of that and just think. They want so bad to be Hollywood. And they're expecting to have, why do you think they always want to show you these actors and actresses sitting in the audience from Netflix in these Netflix movies? Why? Because they want that. Now, Liv Morgan's a superstar. Bianca Belair is a superstar. Right there, they just say they depend on all of that. So therefore, professional wrestling, UFC, acting, whether it's movies, sitcoms, or whatever, anime, it's all the same. WWE is all of these things. That's what they want to be. They put wrestling aside. They put it on the back burner. Their focus is entertainment, not wrestling. That's why the matches are crappy. That's why they try to give you these PLEs every other fucking week. Something new is popping up and they're overcharging you. And they're not taking the time to not just write a storyline, but something creative, something that's interesting, something that's fun. They're just giving you crap. And instead of focusing on delivering the goods to you, they're more focused on trying to block AEW, and it's doing nothing for them except exposing them to be a weaker company. Because they're not a better company. I don't give a fuck what any of you say. They're not better than AEW, by far. It's not even close. A 6-year-old company to accomplish what the fuck they've done versus a company that's been out 40, 50 years or whatever, or 56, 60 years or whatever it's been. You guys are delusional. The fact that they're even in the same talks when, let's look at TNA. TNA can't get 500,000 people to view in. So what they said is this around, no, they're saying if they get this TV deal, right? I read an article about something where they were saying if they get this TV deal, they're expecting to get at least 200 to 250,000 people per week watching. Compare that number to the Spike TV number. They were doing like 1.3, 1.4 million. And you want to know what all you were doing? Oh, it's still not the same numbers as SmackDown or Raw. And see, that's what I'm saying. Every other company has to play basketball on a 15 and 20 foot hoop, while WWE gets to play on a 10-foot hoop. They get regulation, but every other company, you have to surpass their number and do this and do that and then sustain it in the future and do this, knowing they don't have the finances to do that, knowing that the WWE has more money, they can produce more, better production, anything, but then all of a sudden AEW comes along, yeah, we can do the same shit y'all can do. Let's go. We have to try to block them. We have to try to, because, hey, if there's no AEW, then they're forced to watch us. Nope. They'll just stop watching wrestling altogether, if that be the case. See, y'all don't see these type of things because you're too busy rah, WWE. Hey, fans, right, rah, go fuck yourselves. That's your fault. That's your fault. So, I don't care about the ratings and all that. I don't care about merchandise. I don't care about none of that. But if you go do your homework, everything, the sales, everything down. Just think about several months ago when everybody was making a big deal out of Mr. Yeet, yeet, Just think about that. What happened? Didn't I tell y'all I don't see him having a long title run, and he's nothing but a gimmick. He can't wrestle, but this is what the WWE does. What's this idiot ass commentator? Every time Jey Uso come out, he stands up on the desk looking stupid, all offbeat, no rhythm, just flapping his arms. Can't even do a simple arm movement like this and shit. He's up here, right? And I'm like, yeah, gimmicks don't last long. Let me tell y'all something. You could take an artist, right? Somebody said something the other day, and I made this point to them, and they said, damn, I never thought about it that way. Somebody had, and just pay attention to the analogy, okay? Somebody had, this is not even true, but there's a picture of Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, KRS-One, and Cool G Rap. The lie is that the four of them is forming a supergroup to make a new album. It's not happening. Now, Kane was just on Shannon Sharp's show, and he said he's working on new music that LL and Q-Tip talked him into making a new album. Okay. Didn't say what and whatever, but so somebody goes, oh, they're irrelevant anyway, man, so, like, it don't really matter. And I said, why you say that? Nah, because, like, they've been out for so long. It's like, who really, I said, okay, so let me ask you a question. I said, how long have they been in this game? For some of them, 37 years, 30, 39 years, 40 years, right? They're still doing shows in 2025. And we're talking about rappers that came out in the fucking mid and late 80s. $10 years from now, who's going to be fucking coming out to see Sexy Red and Ice Spice? 10 years from now, who's going to be coming out to see Tekashi 6ix9ine? 10 years from now, who's going to be coming out to see Future in the future? Can you say that is a demand for them? Think about rappers right now that came out in the Pop Smoke era. Are they still around? With all these rappers that's out, all everybody talking about is who right now? Kendrick Lamar and Drake. They're back and forth. That's the biggest talk in hip hop because there's nothing else going on. Can you fucking say any of them 37 years from now are still going to be on the stage, a demand for people to listen to them? Damn, that is true. You're right. Yeah, shit. What happened to Trippie Redd and all these guys? Where are all these guys at? Why are they not relevant right now? You see what I'm saying? Staying power is what's important. Gimmick rappers don't last long. Flavor of the month rappers don't last long. Okay? So when you're doing what everybody else is doing, there's nothing about you that stands out. There's nothing about you that make people want to keep coming back. You're just like everybody else. Which is exactly why AEW is still here. TNA is still here, but TNA is dependent on WWE. They're dependent on them. I mean, goddamn, Kalani Jordan is your Knockouts champion. Trick Williams is your world champion. And TNA's comeback is the most important title in TNA is the TNA X Division champion. You don't even have an X Division. It's just a belt. You understand what I'm saying? They're depending on WWE, so that they don't just invasion shit they're supposed to be. I'm just laughing like, man. Everybody that I've talked to, we've had conversations, are now saying, I see exactly what you like. This shit's all coming into fruition. It was already happening when I was telling you guys this shit. You are not going to stand out when you copy. What happens, even if TNA gets this TV deal, and trust me, if they get this TV deal, I promise you, WWE is going to try to persuade them to go live Wednesday nights to go up against Dynamite. I guarantee you. And the reason that, because Dynamite and Collision both get the same love. They get both of those shows love. So they don't treat Collision like it's some small a B show. That's that Raw SmackDown shit. There's no B show in AEW. Okay, but the reason why they won't want to do it on a Saturday is because that's when WWE do that PLEs try to block AEW. Then the football season and all that stuff with college and NFL and all whatever. So and everything else that's going to be going on. So yeah, trust me. Now remember where you're hearing this. If they get this TV deal, they're going to try to persuade them to go live on Wednesday nights. And TNA is fucking stupid if they let WWE continue to pimp them like that. They need to keep their asses on Thursday nights where they are, where there is no other wrestling show they got to worry about. Nobody's going to stop watching AEW for no fucking TNA. But they think because TNA wrestlers, NXT wrestlers are showing up, NXT is still getting 600-something thousand views. Not 7, 8, not 1 million. That's why, like I said, you don't see all these guys that would hee, LOL, haha. Oh, NXT won in the ratings this week. And every time that they lost, you don't see a video. And this is why these guys are not making these videos. So with this NXT TNA bullshit crossover, what's happening for the better? What's really nothing. See, numbers isn't everything, because what happens is this. If you watch a show and I say what happened on that show, you like, some motherfucker wrestled, some big black dude, he won. These two chicks came out, did an interview, then they attacked some girls. And some other guy came out and did an interview, and then they had an impromptu match. Some guy. Oh, then Trick Williams came out, and him and Emma Obafemi was fighting, and then Kalani Jordan came out, and she. Also, you remember what the NXT wrestlers did, even though it was on an episode of a TNA show, but you don't remember what the TNA wrestlers did, and that's what TNA is. Yeah, that's what TNA is. So they can try to recruit Eric Bischoff or whoever, Jim Cornette. They can try to do whatever to try to get everything running and hope that, cross the fingers and hope that, they can surpass AEW. They can, right? But you want to know what the WWE is going to always try to make sure that TNA don't surpass them. And see, this is where people are so stupid. Like I said, when people say things like, say, if you like the Seattle Seahawks, and you're like, I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Chiefs. You just hate all the other NFL teams. Hell yeah. So why don't we just eliminate everybody? So the Seahawks can just be the one and only team to just dominate the NFL. That would make no sense. Exactly. What the fuck is the hatred for? It's a sport, bro. The team you like is not always going to win. This is what I'm saying. You got to learn to just grow up, man. Damn, just grow up. Hate. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I don't have to watch what I don't want to watch. And if AEW started doing fuckery, doing this kind of stupid shit that WWE is doing, I'd get a middle finger to AEW as well. That's the difference with me and you guys. You guys are slaves to the alphabet. I'm not a slave to anything. But it's like I said, this is just leisure time stuff. It's for enjoyment. It's things that you do that you like to, that you partake in because you like it. I'm not watching this stuff because I'm bored. I got nothing else better to do. Nope. And that's the problem. One of the biggest problems with wrestling fans is a lot of them are casuals. That's why when March Madness or whatever happens, guess what? Wrestling takes a back seat because they'd rather watch college football. They'd rather watch college basketball, the NFL, the hockey game, baseball game. Why? This sport called banana ball came out of nowhere. I never even heard of it. And I'm sitting here watching movies on Amazon Prime, and I see banana ball. What the hell? So I see like a trailer of it, and it's like another version of baseball, cut from the baseball cloth. And the first thing, now, and I'm like, damn, they got nice big sellout crowds and everything. But the first criticisms that I see, oh, they should have did it like baseball. I know they shouldn't have. Then it's the same thing. Like, let's say, for example, if they create a league similar to hockey, but they're rollerblading instead of on ice skates, right? And let's say, okay, you both got to hit the puck into the net, okay, to score a point. But let's just say there's no icing rules. All the other rules are completely different from hockey's. They don't allow fighting, right? But they have different setups to how they do different things, and they have different calls. How stupid would you be to say, "Oh man, they should have did it the same way"? No, they shouldn't have did it, because then it's hockey. This isn't hockey. It's a branch of it. It's inspired by, but it's a whole different sport altogether. That's why the rules are different. Like, let's just say, for example, you have a certain position where you can hit corner shots where it's worth 2 points instead of one. You understand what I'm saying? There can be different things that they do. But to say they should make it the same way that hockey does, nah, they shouldn't. Now, for what your beloved WWE is doing, let me just be honest with y'all, man. Not only have they given you guys the middle finger as fans, they've lost their heart and soul. Everything is all about money. They're a bunch of sellouts. I'm not going to go into this in detail, but everybody know what the issue with the Saudi Arabia thing is. And you notice how they tried to use Bianca Belair. Oh, I think women, this is a great thing, and I think it's showing improvement for women. Bianca, that's not true. They don't have a problem with women performing in the ring. You want to know how I can prove you, debunk your words, Bianca, with your own, I can debunk your own words. Debunk your words with your own words. I guarantee you them little sweet cheeks of yours won't be showing in that ring. I bet them little naked thighs and arms and your belly button won't be showing. You will have a one piece zipped up like a fucking jumpsuit looking like Jason Voorhees. All of y'all. I'll bet you that. I bet you can't walk their streets and go shopping over there and dress the way you do in America. Y'all know what it is, and you understand what it is. And they use certain people. See, it's just funny. And this is something that I've noticed. They like to use people of color in WWE to get certain points across that they know there's going to be backlash for. But then somebody within WWE will tweet something and take the side of that wrestler. But they know what they're doing. There's so much manipulation and things that just the average thinking person don't pick up on these things. But yeah, so and that was something that popped up on our TikTok, this video of Bianca, and I see what the fuck this is. Yeah. Well, had CM Punk apologize about comments he made. Everybody knows what's happening. So this is my point. They're a bunch of sellouts. Everything is about money. They don't have morals. They do not have substance. They don't care. As long as they're making money, you can complain all day, every day. As long as you're shelling out that money, that's all they care. Give us them frog skins. We don't care about how you feel. Thank you, stupid. Now watch the show and shut up. Basically, y'all get pimped out by them. So, if you can't respect the fact that wrestlers are human beings and that, hey, I'm not happy in WWE, I'm going to AEW, you should go fuck yourself. That's no different from Triple H telling you, stop being critics and shut up and be fans and go fuck off. That's you saying the same. Okay, Mercedes, fuck you. I don't care about your happiness. I'm happy when I see you in WWE. Okay, with Triple H with his fucking foot on your neck. Okay, giving you just enough room to breathe. I don't care that you're happier in AEW. I don't care that you're more successful in AEW. You guys are just like them. That's why you're so attracted to it and so addicted to it. You complain after every show, but continue to watch. So how stupid do you look? Yeah, but I create my channel to do content. All right, so in other words, your channel, you won't be able to monetize your channel if you're not talking about the WWE. There's nothing good being said about them. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be honest, but you're not being honest with yourself. Because if the only thing you got going, if the saving grace of you monetizing your channel is talking about a company that you don't like, you better start thinking of some other options. Because the second that you stop talking about that, start talking about things that are fun, all these angry fans on your channel, just like you, are not going to find interest in what you're talking about then. Because pretty much you're a part of what Rhea Ripley was talking about. You guys are miserable and have no life. Like she said, if you put this time and energy into your own life, you'd probably be farther in life than what you are. That's what Rhea told y'all. But nope, every Monday, every Tuesday, every Friday, let's just piss ourselves off by watching this garbage. The change that you claim you want is not going to happen. How about you change what you're doing? Simple. That drop off is huge. It's huge. I said from day one, it was a great look that AEW was able to get both Dynamite and Collision on HBO Max. Now it's beautiful that now you can get the pay-per-views on HBO Max or Amazon Prime. Right? But remember, when they canceled Rampage, oh, yeah, they gonna go out of business, yeah, fuck Rampage, I'm glad the show's, I mean, this is the stupid stuff you guys are saying. I'm glad that they canceled the show. I hope they go out of business, and it's like, yeah, well, hope your mom is not still a whore. Like, I mean, I just, like, you know what I mean? We're not talking about a racist company. We're not talking about a company that shows us any racism anyway, or a company that's for the fans, for the wrestlers, for the people, and you just wanted to go out of business. Like, what does that do for you? Man, you are a born loser, man. You are the type of guys that Rhea Ripley could pimp. Nia Jax, any of them. They could say, hey, open your mouth and let me urinate in it. Yeah, I'd love to. Oh, I'm never going to brush and gargle again. Yeah. Yeah, let me give you the sweet face. Only I just took a dump and I didn't wipe my ass. Let me give you a real stink face. Oh, sure. I'm never gonna wash my face. That's what you guys sound like. There's a lack of mature grown men and women, and we know this is a big shortage. No real man is gonna sit there and tell me, I hope they go out of business, and I can't wait for the like. Yeah, you're a nerd. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, you're a real fucking super nerd. Like, you know. I don't care what happens to the WWE. They make it, they don't. It doesn't do anything for me, and I'm not going to celebrate. I just don't care. Fuck them. I don't like what they stand for as a company. Plain and simple. So, with their decline and their viewership and everything, and you know, look, there's lack of interest for everybody that's sitting here clapping like a bunch of fucking seals, hoping that the AEW go out of business, and now you're looking really nervous because, damn, they really bounced back. And then, yeah, well, if you don't care about them going out of business, you know how stupid you sound when other people are now making fun of the WWE? Oh, but why would you want to see? No, bitch, why would you want to see AEW out of business? Well, this is what I'm saying in these stupid conversations, and this is why, like, for me, I enjoy the conversations we have on TikTok. And like I said, I'm not into arguing and debating. Okay, I don't have an interest in that. I'm not about winning arguments. We make points. We bring up the facts. And pretty much we have grown up conversations, and we just hang up on people. Hey, nah, if you call talking stupid, well, yeah, you're done. And because that's not what it's about. And to be honest with you, our conversations are not really about AEW versus WWE. Or any company versus another company. It's just about pro wrestling in general. And whatever topics that we talk about, you always have somebody that can't talk about one company without bringing up the other. But it's like, no, focus on the topic. Don't fucking sit here and tell me what I should or shouldn't like. But you said, I know what the fuck I said. I was here when I said it. Understand where I'm coming from before you start talking. Because people they just listen just to respond, but they're not listening to what you're actually saying. I don't care what company you like better. That's your business. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't like. Okay, I know what my reasons for not watching WWE is. Who the fuck are you to sit here and tell me why you don't watch AEW and how come I don't complain? First of all, asshole, like I said, if AEW was doing racist shit, if AEW was you think if fucking Tony Khan sat here and told his talent, we cannot salute Black History Month or Juneteenth, I'm not allowing anybody from this company to talk about it. Mr. Donald Trump doesn't want us to do it. He's against it. And I would be like, fuck Tony Khan and AEW and everybody in that motherfucker. This shit doesn't make my life. This is a form of entertainment. I see what the fuck the WWE is doing. And I say, you got a lot of blind, naive people that don't see it, don't understand it, and you got a bunch of racist motherfuckers that don't care. It's as simple as that. And all of these fucking channels keep crying about Vince McMahon, Vince, fuck Vince. Vince, you know, I can clearly remember sitting here listening to people complain about Vince is old and out of touch. Vince don't know what he's doing. But now all of a sudden, because WWE is in a really fucked up situation in a lot of ways, the desperation of old man Vince coming back. Yeah, 80-something-year-old man, he's going to come back and do fucking what? What is Vince going to come back and save? You don't think Vince is out of touch? Yeah, well, I remember the flip-flopping. Like I said, y'all done been through Vince, Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H. And every time one of them start fucking up, you start calling for the other one. Remember when it was a rumor that Shane McMahon and Tony Khan was going to do business together? Remember how people started coming up with scenarios and storylines? And they're going to try to do a brand split, and Shane's going to turn heel, and you know, all this, right? I remember I said, whether it happens or not, I really don't care, but I don't want to see AEW turn into another version of the WWE. Remember I said that? Okay, so who's more grounded in their position? Me or you fucking flip-flopping motherfuckers who you don't want to see AEW progress, but first thing y'all started talking about was Shane being able to bring in certain WWE like, bro, that's not what we want to see. I don't mind the talent coming over, and certain people, everybody's not a good fit. But my thing is, I want to continue to watch AEW and have a different feel when I'm watching AEW than I do when I'm watching anything else. I don't watch WWE anymore, so fuck them. You know what I mean? But that's the whole point. So I don't even care. But bottom line is, if a wrestler can show up and do, like example, Christian Cage teaming up with Adam Copeland, but continuing to be the same asshole, that's great. That's brilliant. Right? And it's simple all at the same time. Don't give him the predictable, I know I've been an asshole, but I just want to say I'm sorry, and I owe you guys. No, let him continue to be an asshole. But you guys have a history. In real life, man, you have people that hang out with people that's complete opposites to them. And, it might make you wonder, like, why the fuck did y'all become friends? Or how y'all, but one guy's cool down to earth, the other one might be a hothead. Always just a fuck up of a human being, but you're friends. Okay, that's what Adam Copeland and Christian Cage is. Now, who's to say, before it's all said and done, Adam Copeland might not turn heel on somebody, and then now he's an asshole, and now him and Christian are two of the same. You understand what I mean? So we don't know. Only time tells. On something else real quick. Remember Darby Allin? He's been training Sting's son. Now, I don't know which one it is. I think it's the older one. I remember seeing a picture. Remember when Sting retired, you had the two sons come out. One had the Surfer Sting look. I think it's that one, the older one. And the other one had the NWO red and black Sting. But I think it's the older one that has the Surfer Sting look. So he had been living in the same house with Darby Allin since that time. And he's been training with him, like pretty much on a daily basis or whatever. Now, I know Darby back and forth with the Mount Everest climbing and things, so I don't know exactly, I don't know their schedule, but that's what the article said, that he was living with Darby Allin. Now, I've seen an article this week that said that he was wrestling, him and Darby Allin together was wrestling against somebody else. I don't know his progression. I don't know how close to his father he looks like, as far as if he got better, because he's a bit chubby, So I don't know if he's like sculpted, or if he, what, I don't know this about this guy. But I know that those talks had completely died down. And I guess, let's test the waters. Let's see what he has. Let's get him some experience. before we just put him in front of a camera in AEW. And I'm for that. I get that. Now, everybody doesn't progress the same way. But if this kid gets it, and this is what I'm saying, if he gets it, and it starts to click, and I'm gonna tell you what the best thing that this kid can do, and it's something that a lot of this newer generation don't do. Go back and look at the films of his father. Go look at the things that was happening back in the day, and look at what's happening right now. Now, this is what I'm going to take from back then into this era, and this is what I'm going to use to develop into my own character. But of course, I'm my dad's son, so I'm going to have some sting in me. You understand what I mean? That will help this kid stand out in so many ways, because one, there are no more characters like Sting. None. And I've always said, we need some more Stings and Papa Shangos and only that can wrestle. Some more Ultimate Warriors. Brian Cage could have been. You understand? When I look at Brian Cage, I'm like, yo, if Ultimate Warrior had that motherfucker skills, Brian Cage can go, man. So he could have been that guy. But we need some people with character, man, not just a look that, okay, he looks the part, but he doesn't wrestle the part, or he wrestles the part, but don't look the part. We need wrestlers with character, man. This version, these interviews and shit, man, these back and forths, there's no real intensity most of the time. There's no presence that have you locked into the characters most of the time. So what I'm saying is, today's wrestling mind, I like Cowboy, Hangman Adam Page and MJF and these guys. But what I'm saying, let's picture in your mind right now a prime Sting in AEW right now, a prime Ultimate Warrior in AEW right now, a prime Bret Hart in AEW right now. Even though Bret didn't have a real character presence at all, he really didn't, but his wrestling ability was great. But him with the pink and black, and but just imagine that right now. Imagine Cactus Jack, a prime Cactus, now, all right now. Imagine Sid Vicious right now. Just picture, you'd be like, oh shit, this roster is stacked. Imagine the Road Warriors and Doom right now. That's my point. The balance that wrestling had at one point, they mostly don't have now. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes to characters and what their abilities are. AEW, I feel, have a nice balance of different wrestlers, yes. But even AEW, there's no company, none of them have that magic. You understand what I'm saying? They have great wrestlers. They have great performers in it, yes. But none of these companies have that magic that they had back in the day. None of them. Let's be real. You go watch an Ultimate Warrior promo right now. All that shit he couldn't do promos. Yeah, the fuck out of here. You're full of shit. When that motherfucker did a promo, you was sitting there like, yo, this mother, I can't wait to see this. Listen, we know it's all a work, right? But that motherfucker made you want to watch him. That his intensity was sick. His look, everything. I never really was crazy about Macho Man. But his interviews, his promos, right? He had that, you know what I mean? The Powers of Pain with Fuji. It was just like some people just had it, man. That magic was there, man. You wanted to see what was going to happen. I do have that feeling, the attention with AEW. But like I said, no company has that magic anymore, man. None of them. Not AEW, not WWE, none of them. They just don't have that magic because characters, the wrestlers don't have that character, that presence that stands out. You see your beloved WWE want characters to stand out in a Hollywood type way. What was that bullshit promo the other day? You trying to what are you trying to show people that, hey, I may be a good actor? We don't need that. But this is what I'm saying. Earthquake and Tugboat. Now, Tugboat had a stupid look to me with that damn sailor suit on, whatever. But when Earthquake used to give his promos and when he would get in that ring and he would have his pony on and he'd jump around him and the motherfucker bouncing him off that had video game vibes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they all just had a presence about themselves, man. When Yokozuna went to that top rope, you was like, oh, shit. Like, see, it's different, man. Because the characters is not what shine now. It's the ability in the ring and the promo skills. But it's not the you know what I'm saying? It just felt so different now, man. It felt so different back then. And those elements are things that, hey, we need to, you know what? We need to bring somebody in here like that. What if we had a Kamala right now? You know what I mean? What if we had a Kamala right now? That's what I'm saying, man. Instead, you get people like, what's the big black dude name that was in WWE and couldn't beat no damn body? Big 7-foot motherfucker, the black bald head dude. He wound up going to Japan, getting the title over there. You know, I mean, Satnam Singh, they got him in Ring of Honor. But he's not ready either, man. He doesn't have the presence that he needs. This is what I'm saying. Like, wrestling now, they don't capture those characters, man. Satnam Singh, look, remember Elegante? Remember the look he had? Now, the look that he had in NWA, I remember, had the little black 3/4 tights, little red stripe on the side, black knee pads, black boots. Now, when he went to WWE, they had him come out in that big Sasquatch suit. He had the big thick beard and all that. Just saying, they tried to change him and give him a more menacing look, right? So I understood that change because that's the one thing Elegante had that when he was in NWAs, he just looked like a big tall motherfucker, but nothing about him popped. Now that's Satnam Singh's look. That's the black dude look that was in WWE. Just a big motherfucker, but like other than his size, what do they do that make you look at them like, ooh, that's a giant? They don't have the same effect that Big Show had. Well, basically when he was the giant, for the most part, they don't have the same effect that Vader had. You know, they don't have that same effect. This is what I'm saying. They don't have that. And that's what I'm saying when you gotta know how to build characters, man. But this era is all so 10 days from now. Okay, right, but no. Now AEW give you a nice balance of wrestling, promos, and all that, and I get it. But like I said, man, we need that balance, size differences, different abilities in the ring with these characters that they play the role. That's why I always said, imagine the Undertaker. Imagine him going from Mean Mark Callis to the Undertaker. But he's not doing his little dead man sit up. You know, he's not doing, that's what they do in horror movies. Right? All that shit. They turn, they look at you a certain way, they do roll out. Imagine if he didn't do any of that. He's just doing the same shit he did as Mean Mark Callis, but he's called the Undertaker and has a different look. That's my point. You have to have wrestlers play the fucking part, man. But everybody looks the same. What was one of the biggest complaints that people had about video games after Street Fighter? Almost every fucking game had somebody that looked like Ryu and Ken. And it was like, so this is the best on your game? This is the, all right, man, you rip off from Ryu and Ken. And it's like, all right, damn, come up with some different characters, right? That's one of the things that made Killer Instinct so dope. What's that main character on there? Jago. He like the, you know, but look at him. Looks different from them. Got the mask on, got the, you know, got the swords on his back. You know, what was that game? Primal Rage with all that dinosaurs and all the animal, the big, you know, gorillas and all that. I love that shit, man. What's the other one? They had another one. Bloody Roar. Remember the Bloody Roar? Where you turn into an animal? I still got that shit. Matter of fact, you know, I need to crank that shit up. I still got that. I still got a Bloody Roar for my fucking Wii. But yeah, all these different games, man. Now, Tekken, there's been a lot of games who had a Bruce Lee rip-off character. We all know that. Now, of course, I have Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, so I have the actual Bruce Lee character in a game, 2 games. But listen, you look at all of that. Mortal Kombat, you look at all these. That's what made your gaming collection fun. Is when you Samurai Showdown. I can pop these games in King of Fighters. And guess what? Not one of these games, DOA, remind me of the other. And when characters have their own unique, distinctive look, that's what make it fun. That's what always made wrestling fun to me. Because you looked at these wrestlers and it was like, yo, damn, I can't wait to see this person versus that person. Just for the looks alone that they had. Now, you had all of this effort put in today's wrestling. It's what I'm telling you, man. You would see more people more drawn to it. What the WWE see is different is fucking Iguana Man. You don't know what to do with a 7-footer, but you can put a 120-pound fucking guy in there and have him do what? Who the fuck cares about Iguana Man? I told you guys the first time I saw a clip. No, it wasn't even a clip. I think I was skimming through that bullshit. The first show the Worlds Collide show they did with AAA, and I saw Iguana Man, and I said, nah, I bet you WWE take interest in this little motherfucker right here. That's the kind of shit that they're on now. Guys, I'm just being real. This is like the sissy generation. This is a soft generation, man. You know, these little guys who don't even like they do push-ups can get in there and beat who? It doesn't even look believable, man. But I told y'all, and what happens? Yeah. They're interested in Iguana Man. So they don't know what to do with 7-footers now. They don't know what to do with big guys like that. Hey, you got to go back to your roots. And like I said, I enjoy what I see in AEW, but there's still things about the wrestling business that I remember that I would like to see that even AEW doesn't do, but they do well. They do great with what they have, with the direction they're going and what they do. I love what they have. But I'm being real with you, man. Like Big Bill is a big 7-footer or damn near 7-foot, right? But Big Bill doesn't have that presence like a Sid Vicious. You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't have that. Like Sid came out. The thing is, their interviews were so believable, man. They made you want to watch. Big Bill's a big dude, but he just doesn't have that presence, man. Like a Sid Vicious. He stands out in this era of wrestling the way he does, but you just not. You don't have that. Danny Spivey can come out and just stretch his eyes and shit and talk his shit to the ring and run in there before the bell start, just start beating the fuck out of his opponent, stomp his ass out, hit his finish and get the fuck out of there. You know, stuff like that gets you. Where's the Nikita Koloffs at, man? I mean, we got Powerhouse Hobbs. We got Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, we got Brian. But Brian Cage has been out hurt for a while. You know, Buddy Murphy, I hear that he's recovered or recovering from his injury, but it's just no word on when they're bringing him back on TV. But like you got certain guys that, you know, but what happened to nobody looks like Bam Bam Bigelow. You know what I'm saying? Like make wrestling fun, man. And AEW is fun to me, and I do like watching AEW. But I'm saying, man, no company captures these characters like they did back in the 80s. They don't. They just don't. They just don't. We need another Ric Flair, man. I don't mean have somebody come out and steal his walk and his whoop. No, I'm saying we need not just a motherfucker dressing up in his suit, talking shit, and throwing up his... No, we need more people that understand ring psychology, that can make you like... Yo, you know how when Ric Flair wrestled, you wanted this motherfucker to lose so bad, but this motherfucker, one way or another, dirty motherfucker, find a way to win. But you wanted him to lose so bad, right? We need people like that. This is what I'm saying. We need these type of people, man. And as long as you guys keep comparing the eras to the point where you're trying to prove what era was better, and just you're arguing amongst fans of the same company. But if you don't learn to accept that, you know what, this shit could be done better, man. It's like when an 18-year-old right now go back and listen to old rap and go, them motherfuckers back in the day really could rap for real. Damn, this shit in our era is trash. I hear a lot of these people that do reaction videos. I hear a lot of, they admit it, like, damn, this era is trash, man. They ain't talking about nothing. Grown men got the voices of little 10-year-old boys. Sound like they can't even pronounce words right, like they got a mouthful of marbles or some shit. They ain't rapping about nothing. Then they go back and listen to like Rakim or some shit, like, yo, these motherfuckers really could rap. Damn. This shit in our era is garbage, man. Damn, like for real. That's what I'm telling you, man. You can be biased all you want. You can choose sides and act stupid like you're gaining something because you're sitting there arguing over a company. But at the end of the day, man, wrestling, where it is right now, you know, I wouldn't trust anybody in the WWE. But if they were smart, they would stop focusing on trying, to continue to make fools of themselves, hoping and crossing their fingers with this pipe dream that they're going to stop AEW. And they would focus on their own product. And in fact, what never happened between WWE and WCW, that fake-ass WCW, ECW invasion, was the worst shit ever happened. And it shows you how little they gave a fuck about their fans and about wrestling in general. And instead of giving you something solid, all they gave you was a whitewash or some watered-down bullshit, cheesy version of WCW versus WWE with the, ECW shit. That was garbage. They could have did so much with that. I wouldn't trust working with the WWE, honestly. But if these motherfuckers, and I don't see it really working right, because Tony ain't no bitch. Tony ain't gonna have him come in and punk him and make his company look bad. But if WWE was smart, and if they had honest bones in their bodies, they could work with AEW and make some real beautiful shit happen. And no, it's not going to be every week, every other week. No, but bottom line, they could really make some real great shit happen, man. And that would really be impactful. Not this garbage that TNA and NXT is doing. And that's how much of a joke that TNA is, that they don't even have people from the SmackDown roster coming over there. They're not even having their stars show up on SmackDown or Raw. No, NXT, developmental brand. So your veterans is losing to these up-and-coming guys who get promoted to the main roster and then look like trash once they get there. Yeah, see what Obafemi was doing in NXT. Well, by the time Obafemi, whenever they decide to put him in SmackDown or Raw, I won't be watching that bullshit anyway. But yeah, let's see what they do with Obafemi. But just saying, y'all, Trick Williams. Let's see what happens when they come. Jada Parker, our last legend, Jordan Grace. Let's see what happens. Why is Jordan Grace still on NXT? When she came out at that Royal Rumble, I dare any one of you motherfuckers to tell me you picture her in NXT. You didn't picture her straight to Raw or SmackDown. NXT. Her bullshit choice. Julia and Stephanie back here is already on there. Jordan Grace is an 11-year, 12-year veteran in wrestling. And she's still over there at NXT. So, and a former Knockouts champion. Hey, I seen, as a matter of fact, on TikTok, Jordan Grace got a promo she cut. I don't know if she's home or wherever the fuck she is. She's somewhere. And she's talking about the new, some pay-per-view that WWE got going on. I guess it's NXT, TNA, some shit. And she's calling out Ava, is her name, The Rock's daughter, and Santino Marella, saying, there is no TNA versus NXT without me. And the one thing wrong with the card, you didn't even put me on it. I'm calling you guys out. Y'all got to make this right. I'm just saying, the fact that she even had, like, seriously, man. Imagine the dream team back in the day. Bird, Magic, all them, but there's no Jordan on the team. Like, seriously? Y'all got all these motherfuckers. Isaiah Thomas, but no Michael Jordan? Are you fucking shitting me? Just saying. But this is where we are. So yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying AEW very much, man. And I do like the fact because they are creating characters. Like, you know, I like to me, my favorite character in wrestling right now is Tony Storm. Tony Storm is doing a thing. I love what Mercedes Moné is doing. You know, she is being Mercedes Moné. She's a heel that wins matches clean. And she can go. And she's just doing her shit. You know, but Tony Storm's character, man, is she plays the character. Imagine if she changed her look to what it is now, but she's still just doing the same original Tony Storm stuff. What's the purpose? This is what I'm talking about, man. So yeah, man, we need some over the top. Like Abaddon, man. I don't know what happened with her, but you know, I felt like Abaddon character was so needed, was so necessary, because she brings a whole different appeal, a whole different look. You know, yeah, man, we need, you know, yeah. Like I said, I love what they're doing over there. I like Okada's character, man. You know, whatever. But like, what I'm saying is, we just need some more edgy, over the top characters, man, that can really get the fans looking at them like, oh shit, this motherfucker's interesting, and they can perform in the ring. You understand what I mean? These characters gotta get some life to them, man. And that just, you know, for me, I'm glad that AEW is not sitting here every time you turn around, they got a guy in the ring doing 25-minute fucking promos 3 times out the night or whatever. But these changes are necessary. They need to make these changes. But like I said, I like where I love what they're doing right now. But wrestling in general, they need to get back to learning how to like create characters that stand out. They have a look that stand out, and then they have ability in the ring. Overall, that balance is necessary. That's all I got for y'all right now. Catch y'all on the next video.